Hey everybody, I'm just a dude and I am back. I am back because of this kind of nonsense. Elisabeth Banks, failure of Charlie's Angels. Reboot on filming being marketed as just for girls. Ignores her own role in the narrative. Yep. I'm coming back for this nonsense because anyone who's self-aware or pays attention to anything knows what's going on in Hollywood, Washington, D.C., big democratic cities, liberal cities, progressive cities, trying to push this overall narrative that women can do everything that men can, except when it comes to plumbing, carpentry, construction, all that kind of other jobs that you never see them promoting in Hollywood and government, right? It's always the office jobs, right? But I digress just a hair. You have people in Hollywood and government constantly promoting, girls can do it too. This is just for girls. We rule the world. We rule Hollywood. We rule this. We rule that. We rule what comes into our homes. We rule No, you don't. Nice try, but you don't. You contribute, you help, you partner, but you don't run any of those things at all ever. And you still don't. Excuse me. Let's get into the crux of this. I highlighted a few parts, so I have to spend a lot of time on it. I just want to get to the points. First point. This is something that she said in this article. It's on Bounding in the Comics, by the way. Great website. I was just making an action movie. I would have liked to have had made Mission Impossible, but women aren't directing Mission Impossible. I was able to direct an action movie, frankly, because it starred women. And I'm a female director. And that is the confine right now in Hollywood. What? Okay, this is 2009 they made this, or 2018 they made it. It came out in 2019. What kind of confine or restrictions have you had since about 2015 or maybe even a little bit earlier? Seriously. When she said this, you know what immediately came to my mind? Immediately came to my mind is this movie right here. Point Break 1991. Keanu Reeves, Patrick Swayze, right? Who directed this action thriller starring male stars? Let's see here. Who made it? Who's the director? Oh, there's the cast. Yeah. Catherine Bigelow. Now, most people know Catherine Bigelow because of Point Break now, because of the success she had, right? With her big hit, which was called The Hurt Locker in 2008. Another somewhat known action drama film starring Jeremy Renner of Hawkeye fame from the MCU. So, Elisabeth Banks is trying to convince us that women have not advanced and are unable to direct men in an action film because we haven't advanced that far yet. Either people like this think we're really stupid or they're stupid for saying it. I don't understand how they think they can get away with this. Now, people might fall for this who don't have a brain and don't think and don't do research and go back and know things. Maybe, a 20-year-old girl or 20-year-old dude, back in 2019, 20 or 22, whatever, can't remember far back to, or look or know back, 1991 or even 2008 when they were an infant. They didn't know. Oh, this lady named Catherine Bigelow had 2 huge hits with male stars considered in action films. That's just 2 examples. Okay? There are more. All right? But this kind of talk is insane. She continues, further alleged that she had been told by a big producer of big action movies that I could direct action, that the males were not going to follow me. Okay, so that explains Point Break, where, men always tout that film as being super awesome, right? Or Charlie's Angels in 2000 reboot was super awesome. And the box office over 20 years ago was huge compared to the box office of 2019's version of Charlie's Angels. So that's a bunch of nonsense too. Male actors are going to go where the money is. Male actors are going to go where the script is good. Male actors are going to go where something's fun. Right? They're going to go. If you treat men right, being a female in a position of power, and not say, this is woke, this is woke, this is woke. I'm in charge, I'm in charge, I'm in charge. They'll go. They'll follow you. But a real man ain't going to do that. He's going to tell you to go pound sand and get out of my face. If you want to treat a guy like that, then you know what? He's not going to follow you. You know what I mean? Treat him with respect. Don't be a goofball. Do your job well. He'll respect you. She continues, he was flummoxed. Wow, I like these words they're using in Hollywood. Flummoxed at the idea that a woman would be able to lead The Rock on a CGI screen, I guess, Banks claimed. That was said by someone with a lot of power in our industry, to my face. First thought I had as soon as I read that was, you know what? You know what, honey? You know what, chickadoo? You know what that sounds like to me? It sounds to me like you got a guy in a position of power. If this is indeed true, which it has not been proven yet, and never will be, but if it is indeed true, that sounds like a guy telling you he doesn't think you're capable of handling a film of that magnitude yet. That's what it sounds like to me. Like he didn't have confidence in you to do it. Are you mean to tell me if someone like Kathleen Bigelow, I could be wrong, and you can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. I think she won an Oscar for The Hurt Locker, if I'm not mistaken. Do you think if a Kathleen Bigelow came to, even a male cast member or a male leading star like The Rock, for example, or a studio and said she wanted to do this kind of movie, do you think that any of them are just going to go, nah, we don't think, no one's going to follow you? And she has a proven track record. It has to do with the quality of what you're capable of doing and the quality of work that they think you can handle. It's just, these are all excuses. And this is becoming an ongoing trend in our culture today. Continuing. We literally have a character who is essentially working at a big corporation and is not being believed or listened to by her bosses, she clarified. One of the statements this movie makes is that you should probably believe women. Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum. That was the killer. You were living in a time period, what's called, what's it, Time's Up? What the heck is that thing called? Anyway, whatever it's called. I think it's down later in the article here. Men don't believe that. And honestly, good, righteous, just women who have sons and husbands don't believe that either. Because the truth of the matter is, men or women can be just as evil, wicked, nasty, and mean as men. And in many cases, worse. Any of you who are being intellectually honest and ever worked in an environment where, well, if you're a guy and you work with just men, you can have tough days with men, working with men. But the great thing about working with men is eventually there's a boiling point. You explode and you're either going to punch the guy in the face, or you're going to have it out when you're yelling with him. And it's cleared up. It's over. It's done. You get it out of your system and it's pretty much over with. Had those experiences. Love them. Because none of us are perfect. We're all sinners. You're going to have days where you're going to have conflicts and things are bad and you're going to have it out. But if you're two halfway decent people, you have it out. It's done with. Now, any men out there, or any ladies for that matter, who've ever worked with other ladies who aren't so nice, or even are nice, there is something about a woman that they always have this. It's a stigma. It's a stereotype that people. No, it's not a stereotype. Women fight differently. They fight evil. They fight wickedly. They're sneaky. They're conniving. They will make something that a man would settle in 5 minutes, something drag out for 2 or 3 or 4 years in a workplace. When you have an insincere, corrupt, self-motivating woman or girl in a position of any kind of authority, you're going to have issues. You're going to have trouble. And because of that, not all women should be believed. And quite frankly, not all men should be believed. But the point is, just to go and make a statement like all women should be believed, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard within the last 5, 6, or 7 years since this whole movement has begun. No one should just be, arbitrarily believed because they say something happened to them. There are a lot of evil people and sinful people out there who have no scruples about screwing up someone else's life because they say something happened. If they can get away with it, they will. People have to prove, they have to substantiate, they have to back up things that they say in order for it to be resolved appropriately. And to try and punish, believe, take someone's word just because they say something, and in this case, because it's a woman, is a fallacy that it's laughable, but it's not, because there are people out there that believe that because a woman says something, they should just believe it. You have to be a moron to not only say that about women, but anybody. Justice and righteousness cannot happen in that kind of world, ever. I continue. If this movie doesn't make money, it reinforces a stereotype in Hollywood that men don't go see women do action movies. Didn't we just talk about this? I don't think we have to reiterate it anymore, but that's a lie. Okay? We see this here. Let me see. I showed you Point Break, Catherine Bigelow, Charlie's Angels. Now, Charlie's Angels, 1976 to 1981. Do you think that this show stayed on air just because women watched it? Of course not. It stayed on air because men liked looking at the women. The women were hot. They were sexy. They were smart. They were rich. They were intelligent. They were flirty. They were fun. I mean, that's what men find attractive. Women followed because they saw women being fun, flirty, respected, doing their job well, doing something impressive and, out of this world exciting, right? So don't tell me that men won't go see action movies where women are the lead. Example number 2, Charlie's Angels, in 2000. You got, Cameron Diaz. Who was the other girl? Let me see here. Who are they? Oh, Cameron Diaz, Drew Barrymore, and Lucy Liu, right? All attractive in their own way, right? Cameron Diaz, she's just super sexy, super fun, super giddy, fun to watch. Lucy Lala, same thing, a blast to watch. She was always fun, flirty. Look at that, having fun. Drew Barrymore, fun. She to me is not the most beautiful girl in the world, but she always wins people over, especially guys with her personality. Okay. And guys flocked to this movie, right? They flocked to it. Look at the numbers here. Charlie's Angels in 2000, 2003. $259 million gross. $227 million gross. And what did 2019 do? $73 million gross worldwide. What does that tell you? It tells you that the movie stunk. People didn't like the stars of the film. The advertising and the marketing was horrible. Guys aren't going to promote that. Go see it. And even if they promoted it differently, once word got out that this was what this movie was about, men bad, women great, believe all women, blah blah blah. It wasn't going to do much. It wasn't going to do much better, whether the marketing was better or not. Guys are onto this. Regular, red-blooded, true blue American dudes, heterosexual dudes are onto this crap. And they don't want it. They don't want it. They don't like it. You're not going to fool them with it. All you're going to do is screw up a bunch of young kids who don't know any better, who don't have, great father figures in the home. And they're going to be, oh, I guess that's what I'm doing. I guess I'm just going to be a boy now. I'm going to get, I'm going to assume the female role and she's going to take charge and things are going to be all good. No, it doesn't work that way. Real life doesn't work that way. People might not look what I'm saying. I don't care. Call me misogynistic. Call me patriarchal. Call me whatever you want to call me. I don't care. It's not nature. It's not reality. It's not normal. And normal being, it's within us to fulfill certain things within our lives. We have certain fulfillment aspects as men, as women, that are inherent in us that can't be changed. And they're trying to change it, and it ain't going to happen. It's just going to make things hard for everybody, more difficult for everybody. But here's just a few more action movies on Screen Rant here that were directed by women. Okay? I want to belabor the point because Punisher, Peacemaker, Charlie's Angels, of course, which flopped. Strange Days, Point Break, that was an awesome film. Blue Steel was all right. Birds of Prey was another flop. That's because that's another movie that had the same kind of messaging in it. No one had any interest in it. It was just crap. The Old Guard was pretty good. I saw that. I think that was on Netflix. Wonder Woman, first one, it was all right. Everyone said it was great. This Wonder Woman, the first one, I didn't get it. I mean, I got it, but I didn't think it was that great. I thought it was all right. I mean, I saw it once. That's enough for me. The Hurt Locker, that was a phenomenal film. Wow, what an intense film. Thought-provoking film. So, the point being this, folks. It's a bunch of nonsense. A lot of hypocritical double talk. Let me finish this out. Speaking in light of the then in full swing, Me Too movement. That's what I was trying to say before. Banks concluded. That said, we're in charge of Hollywood. We're the stars. We can do it. We have to take control of this. And I feel like I'm of the new class that feels the same way. Like it's our time now. It ain't going to be with flops like that, my friend. Banks' film is still going to be fun. And Charlie's Angels. But will also be current and modern, exclaimed the actress. God, it's so funny. I know if I say this certain way, I know that this will be written down, but it's not such a bad thing. It's kind of like a woke version. Well, folks, here's woke, hence the term go broke. Here's classic. Sexy women, scantily clad, sexy, beautiful, smart, rich, fun, entertaining, versus not. You think the world's ready for it? I don't think so. And I don't think the world wants it. Things didn't get better for Banks as the months moved on. Sadly, Charlie's Angels didn't take the world by storm. No, it did not. Following the failure of Sony's box office abortion, bad choice of words in my opinion, Banks took on Twitter and said, well, if you're going to have a flop, make sure your name is on it at least 4 times. I'm proud of Charlie's Angels and happy it's in the world. Well, Elisabeth, you and maybe 1 or 2 other people are happy that it's in the world? Or are the very, very few? I don't say it to be mean or nasty, but people don't want this crap. They never will. You can try and convince people for a short period of time this is the way things are going to go, but there's a big difference between the cultural shift of the 60s and 70s and now. People inherently knew that even if it's not what their value systems were back in the 60s and 70s, that women did have a right to do what they want as individuals. No one ever wanted to take that away from them. But now what they're trying to do, whether it be spiritual, whether it be biological, they are literally trying to convince people that women are meant to do men things physically, And men are meant to do women things physically. And or act vice versa. And it's not taking because we all know inherently within our guts, due to nature, that's not normal. It's not right. So, with that said, leave your comments below. Criticize me. I do not care. I am what I am. I know the truth. Now there's probably going to be trolls from, the Twitter trolls and the YouTube trolls or whatever going to lambaste me. I don't care. You want to know why? They're the minority. Don't care. They're the minority. The vast majority between the state of New York and California all think like I do. All believe like I do. And eventually, things are going to turn. The pendulum is going to swing. And if these people aren't careful, they're going to end up getting the exact opposite of what they thought they were going to get. So treat people with respect. Crazy women out there, you woke tards. Because if you don't, you're going to regret it. With that said, folks, be wise, be smart, and until next time, take care. Bye now.